Hi guys, it's Anne and welcome to my channel. As you can tell from the title of this video, I will be talking about how I got my one and only Birkin from the Hermes store. So if you're interested in how I got this item, keep on watching. First, I'll be talking about what you get when you buy from the store. So the shopping bag is orange. It says Hermes. And then this shopping bag is actually made in Italy. So my Birkin came in this big orange box with a brown ribbon that says Hermes Paris. And then it's pretty much a hardcover box with a top on it. And says Hermes Paris. Obviously, my Birkin is not inside this box, but inside it, when they package your bag, there's like paper stuffing, sort of just to kind of present it well in the box, and so it's just not sitting in there. And then inside the box, I keep the receipt, which says Hermes, and then paper receipt. So that's where I got it from. And then it also comes with an Hermes care booklet. And then inside it pretty much just talks about the Hermes leather. And as you may know, the Birkin comes with a raincoat. So if ever you're out and about and it suddenly starts raining, you can put this raincoat on your Birkin to protect it from getting damaged. So my Birkin came with the plastic stickers to protect the hardware, as well as this felt protector, which basically goes in front.
I'll show you in a second. I won't fully put it on there, but I'll show you kind of how it goes. So basically, it's supposed to protect the hardware and the leather, so that the hardware is not creating any obvious indentations and causing any damage to the
bag. So it goes like that. So you're supposed to put like the straps in these holes, and then it protects everything. You get the idea. Of course, it comes with a drawstring dust bag. Sorry, it's a little wrinkled. And then there is a smaller dust bag, which is for the clochette. The clochette is this part right here. I attached the lock to it. I normally don't lock my bag, so I leave it on here, and I like the straps to be left open. And here are the keys. I normally don't leave this on here for too long because having the lock here causes a lot of stress onto the leather with the weight of the lock. So I keep it in that small dust bag. And then put it on whenever I feel like it. As I mentioned earlier, my bag came with clear stickers to protect the hardware. So I don't know if you can see that on here and here. And then this middle part here is the plastic. And then even the feet have plastic stickers on it to protect it. Yes, I know, I left it on there, but eventually I'll take it off. And then this does not come with the bag. These are called twillies. They're basically scarves or bandeaus, just like with my Louis Vuitton purses. Sometimes I cover the handles with these scarves. So these I purchased separately. So now you know what comes with a Birkin when you buy from the store. Just a quick note, the return policy is 30 days for an exchange or merchandise credit. They don't offer full refunds. And then I'll just show you what the receipt says. Here you go. So the exact Birkin I have is the 35 centimeter, which is the medium to large size in Torlon Clemence leather. Sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly, but basically it is a softer, heavier, and slouchier type of leather compared to the Togo leather, which is the other popular leather for Birkins. This is basically a baby bull leather, and it's in the color E-taupe, which is sort of a warm gray. In certain lights it's a lot more gray, in other lights it's a lot more brown. They consider this as type of a chameleon color because it does change its color at certain angles. And it comes with white contrast stitching, and this bag of course is made in France. The hardware is silver hardware, or better known as palladium hardware. So I got this bag in 2015, and the date code or stamp is inside one of the straps, and it's hard to see, but right there is the letter T, which basically stands for 2015. And the 2015 stamps, they don't come with a shape around the letter. Again, I got this bag in 2015 at the Hermes store in Fashion Valley, San Diego. It was the start of January 2015 when I first got interested in a Birkin or a Kelly. I was still trying to grow my luxury bag collection, and I was approaching a milestone in my career and wanted to reward myself with a luxury bag, and I didn't know what I wanted to get, so I thought about what is the it bag for a luxury bag collection, and it was either a Birkin or a Kelly. Overall, it took me 6 months to get this Birkin. That was the overall length of this journey, but in reality it was only about 3 weeks, and I'll go into details as far as why it boils down to about 3 weeks. So I did about 4 months of research as far as the different colors, the different leathers, the different styles, and I boiled it down to a Birkin or a Kelly in neutral colors, and I wanted more of the medium to large size, and it came down to either a Togo leather or the Clemence leather, because they were the two most popular and at the same time affordable leathers. So that's what basically I was trying to figure out within those few months. So the journey started roughly around May 2015. I went to South Coast Plaza. They have an Hermes store over there, and I went in the store and I inquired about getting a Birkin or a Kelly. Mind you, I already knew about the myths, I would say, as far as what it takes to get a Birkin or a Kelly, because not everyone gets offered this type of bag, and it goes as far as purchasing a lot of items, building a relationship with a sales associate, putting yourself on a long wait list, having a good reason to get one, having your spouse or a male go in there and get it for you. There's a long list of ways that have people figuring out how to get a Birkin offered to them, and those are some of the things. There are more reasons or ways to get it. You can Google that, but those are some of the things that I was able to research. So I kind of had a small expectation as to what the sales associate at South Coast Plaza would tell me, and here's the response. The sales associate sort of rolled her eyes and said, well, you have to first build a relationship. And I was like, well, how do you do that? And she said, well, you would have to spend about a good amount of money, like around $10,000. At this point, I'm like, am I losing it? Like, did I just hear that right? And she goes on and on, maybe about trying to correct herself, like maybe she wasn't supposed to say that. And at that point, anything that she said after that amount of dollars, it just went in one ear and out the other. And I just walked out of the store and I was like, forget this, I'm not gonna do that, and forget about the bag. I'm not gonna get a Birkin or anything Hermes for that matter. So 5 months later, we went to Fashion Valley, and we happened to walk by the Hermes store over there, and I was like, well, maybe I heard it wrong, maybe it wasn't true, or maybe, I don't know. So I was just curious to see if all stores are the same way. So I walked in there in the Fashion Valley store, and I saw a familiar face. And I was like, that lady looks so familiar. And she happened to be the lady who sold me one of my small leather goods from Louis Vuitton about a year or two prior. And I was like, hey, I remember you. You sold me a bag. And she's like, yeah, I remember you too. And then I later find out that she's the supervisor for Hermes Fashion Valley at that time. And I decided to ask her. I said, hey, look, I went to South Coast and they told me I had to spend 10 grand just to be offered a Birkin or a Kelly. And I said, is that true? And she's like, no, it's not. Yes, there are certain factors that go into their decision of offering a bag, but you certainly don't have to spend anything at all to be offered one. So I was super relieved and at the same time excited, because now I'm like, oh, I'm back in the game. I can totally try to get to be offered a bag. So that was November 5th, I believe, 2015, and I got her email address, and she told me to keep in touch with her, and of course to build a relationship, but not in a financial way. I'll go into detail later about building the relationship in other ways besides financial. But I asked her, so how do I get on the waiting list? And she said, there is no waiting list. There's only what they call a wish list. So basically she wrote down the colors that I wanted, the size that I wanted, if a Birkin or a Kelly was a priority, and she'll just keep in touch. And at that point I walked out of the store and was like, yes, let's do this. So I went home, did more research, and emailed her thanking her for her time, and to just let me know if ever a Birkin or a Kelly comes around and I can see it, because I've never seen it in person before. For about a week, we go back and forth. Eventually she tells me that it could take up to a year or even longer to be offered one. So I kind of got the idea that, okay, maybe I'm not gonna get offered one ever. But I did my research, and building a relationship is keeping in touch with the ESA, learning about the history of Hermes, and getting to know all the other items that they offer. So for another week, I think I stopped by 2 more times at the store. One time to learn about the history of Hermes. So I went in there and we talked about the history, and then just kept in touch, and then I left. And then the second time I came again to look at the other items, especially their china and their scarves. So that was pretty much it. And then I let it go. Like, I was like, okay, I already did what I could. And I also told her the reason why I wanted the bag, because I knew its status and I knew that it would fit well with my career accomplishments. So I definitely gave her a good reason why I wanted it. And I did show her that I was interested in their brand, and I think some of the things they look at is if you're the type of person that is a good representation of their brand. I did go there for the most part not dressed up, but there were certain days, especially the day that I went to learn about the history, I did go there dressed up professionally. And basically they look at you, they kind of figure out, are you the type of person that's gonna get this bag and just sell it for top dollar the next day? So at the end I was like, okay, well, I did what I could and I'll just let it be. Two of the most important things that I learned during my research in how to get offered a Birkin or a Kelly is the importance of timing and whether or not you're picky. So for me, it wasn't important that I got a certain color as long as it was within a range of colors. Like, for example, I wanted neutral colors. Black was my top choice, but I already knew that I wasn't going to get offered that one because black is one of the most popular colors. So I already lowered my expectations for that. So again, the whole journey length of getting a Birkin or a Kelly boils down to whether or not you're picky. And in my case, timing played a huge part as to why I was offered this Birkin, and I'll explain it. So we're in November 2015 and we're about, let's say, 2 weeks in to November. So about a week and a half or so passed by, didn't hear anything. And the week of Thanksgiving, I believe Tuesday, November 24th, I get an email around 4 p.m. from my sales associate, and she was like, I just got a gray Birkin. The client is out of town. Do you want to come by and see it? Perhaps tomorrow morning. Just call me first because I'm not sure if it'll still be available. The moment I read that email, I freaked out. So when I got off work, I called her and I was like, I can come tonight And she's like, are you sure? I mean, you don't have to come tonight. You can come tomorrow. Just call me. And I was like, no, I'll go there tonight. So I drove straight from work to the Hermes store in Fashion Valley, and I went in there, and then she took me to the back part of the store. There is no secret or back room anywhere. It was just more towards the back, and then there was like a small like table and stuff. And she brought out the box, took it out of the box, and showed me. And I was literally in a state of shock because, one, I've never seen it before, and two, it was very like the whole experience was like very intimidating, because I was like, oh my, like my hands were shaking because I know that this is not a cheap bag, and the whole time I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And she goes, well, there was 3 people ahead of you that want this bag, but because it's Thanksgiving week, they're not able to come in, so they're all out of town. So the thing is, I'm not sure if I can offer this to you. It may not be available in the next 24 hours. And I was like, dude, I just got offered a Birkin, and it's in a neutral color, and it's in an affordable leather, and it's in the size that I want. When will this ever happen again? And then she was like, well, if you're not crazy about it, then we could just let it go and then wait longer for one that you really want. So this is where the whole being picky or not kind of plays in. So I was just super excited, and I'm like, no, this is it. I want this. It's such a beautiful bag, and at the same time, my promotion just had happened. So if I had passed on this bag, it wouldn't have been as exciting, because then it'd be like a late reward, and the whole thing wouldn't have added up properly. So in the end, I said yes, I'm gonna get it. And yeah, so I got it. She packaged it up, and then she handed me the big orange bag, gave me a hug, and I walked out of there. And because it was so late in the day that it was pretty much dark outside, and I was by myself, and I really didn't want to be walking around with a giant Hermes bag, so I didn't get a chance to take photos at that time outside of the store. But yeah, so that was my experience. That was my story on how I got offered this Birkin and how I got it from the store, and I didn't even have to spend a single penny prior to getting it. Of course, after I got it, I felt bad because I knew that I had to get something. So we ended up keeping in touch some more, and I eventually got these twillies from her, and she helped me pick out the color because, like, again, pink was my favorite color, and I wanted to kind of give it a pop of color, which is what she suggested as well, especially against a neutral colored bag. And then I ended up getting one more item from Hermes, from that store, which is the Click H bracelet to go along with the palladium hardware and the white contrast stitching. And those are pretty much the 3 things that I own from Hermes. And yeah, so this is my story. I hope you guys like it. If you do, please hit like, share, and subscribe. If you want more videos about a certain bag or a review or whatever, please leave a message or a comment down below. Thank you and have a wonderful day.